Hello wonderful people of the internet, this is Narishma and I wanted to thank you all for the support you have given me over the past few weeks. We already surpassed 100 subscribers, which is honestly something that I was not expecting at all. Since I want to celebrate this milestone with you guys, I will be running a giveaway, so make sure you stick to the end of the video so that you can figure out how to enter. Today we're going to be talking about something that has taken over the community by storm since the first episode came out. We're going to talk about Laila Aybara, yes, and specifically what is going on with her character. From the first moment that she appears on screen, we can tell that something is definitely off. Someone over the Dusty Wheel After Show postulated the idea of Laila actually being a Darkfriend. Does this theory hold any weight, or is it simply just fans reaching too far? Get your tinfoil hats out, people, because it's theory time. Let's find out. This should be obvious to everyone who's watching this video, but of course this will contain spoilers for the first episode and the third episode of The Wheel of Time, so watch at your own discretion. Let's look at all the evidence from the beginning. The first instance we see Laila Aybara is at the forge, as she looks to be thrusting her anger at her work as she violently works the forge. What is notable here is that Laila is absent from the social gathering, and beyond that, she was also absent from Egwene's induction into the women's circle, even though Laila herself is part of the women's circle. We first see her as Perrin walks into the forge. She gives him a glance that carries either fear, sadness, or hatred. She then proceeds to ignore him and continues to work. Perrin approaches Laila from behind and embraces her, placing his hand on her belly. Take note of this moment for later on. Laila then side-eyes him, and we can see tears in her eyes. Resentment? Pain? Anger? We next see them during the river scene in Belltime. This shot moves up from Laila's belly and moves up until we see them both in frame. Perrin embraces her reassuringly, but we can see that Laila is clearly somewhere else mentally. Her eyes seem lost amid thought. We next see the pair during the Winter Night Massacre as Perrin and Laila fight the Trollocs off in the forge. We see that Laila is attacked but is eventually able to take out one of the Trollocs with a hammer strike to the head. She then falls onto the ground as one of her legs is injured by one of the Trolloc horns as it falls down. Then we cut to Perrin, who has finally taken the upper hand in this fight. He attacks the Trolloc in the chest, and then once the Trolloc is down on the ground, Perrin lets go. He hacks and slashes wildly at the Trolloc, letting adrenaline and anger consume him. Then this happens. This, apart from being one of the hardest and most radical changes to the source material, is also a scene that has left us collectively scratching our heads. So let's analyze why. We know that Perrin is blinded by rage, and we're led to believe that he murders Laila by mistake, that he lets his emotion blind him, and in it committed an act which will give him a reason to become the gentle giant we all know and love from the books. Yet while this scene is successful in establishing this character dynamic, eagle-eyed fans were able to point out a glaring discrepancy that makes all the scenes that we mentioned in detail beforehand have a new undertone. As we can clearly see at the moment that Perrin turns around and strikes Laila, we can see that her arms are clearly over her head. She appears to be approaching Perrin in order to kill him. Kill him? Yeah. Sounds weird, but stick with me. Well, yes, the two Trollocs, which were in the room that they were fighting, had already been defeated, which means that Laila and Perrin are the only two people in that room. Perrin did not, in fact, blindly strike her, as we are led to believe. He sensed that there was imminent danger and struck a fatal blow. I know what you're thinking, it just seems like a way to rationalize Perrin's action to get him off the hook for what he's done. And while I admit this might be how the theory started, I am truly confident that now this theory is mostly based on how strangely Laila appeared in her small appearance before her death. Okay, so let's get to it. Theory states Laila is a Darkfriend. Theory stems from the shot where Laila appears just seconds away from murdering Perrin, but it is further given credence by the fact that Laila is distant and resentful in the scenes that we've seen beforehand. Most notably, we can see this in the shot when Perrin embraces her. Laila's face reads like someone who holds a grudge, who knows something that she can't share. The tears in her eyes could even lend credence to the idea that she is being forced by the Shadow to make sure that he is present during the attack. The question remains, however, why would Laila be a Darkfriend? What would be her motivation? Well, what we know from Laila is actually very little and can mostly be found in the Watt Wiki, but we know that she is from the Two Rivers and that she is Perrin's childhood sweetheart. This means that it is is very unlikely that she simply was a Darkfriend from the beginning. This means that there must be a reason. Well, that reason can be deduced from several cues that are dropped during Laila's first appearances. Remember the shot I told you to remember earlier? Yes, this one, where Perrin embraces her, putting his hand over her belly. I believe that Laila and Perrin might have suffered one or more miscarriages. I believe that out of this desperation, Laila might have reached out to the Shadow, striking a deal in order to have a child. Laila then holds Perrin's hand in this scene, and her expression goes from discomfort to actually termination, an expression which could mean that she has made peace with this decision, even though it could come at the cost of the town and then Perrin. This is why I believe in the next scene she can be seen as dazing off, thinking of something else, specifically the Trolloc attack that she knows is soon to come. Then during Trolloc attack, she tries to murder Perrin as part of her deal. Perrin then stabs her in the belly, the same place where he rests his hand, and of course in a manner that could symbolize their struggles to bear children. Would she try to murder Perrin for this? Maybe. But I'm not 100% sold on it. But we're not finished. Later during episode 3, we see a dream sequence where Perrin can see Wolf eating Laila's guts. This to me is the strongest suggestion that Laila is a Darkfriend, as the wolves would seek to attack the Shadow in the world of dreams. Yet this could be manipulated by Ba'alzamon, as he is also prominent in this scene. If you're not convinced, there is a way darker theory that I do not like at all, but we could also mention. Maybe Perrin and Laila were just having marital problems. Maybe the show's version of Perrin is simply someone who uses his strength against her and abused her. This could explain her resentment and could also explain her reasoning for trying to murder Perrin. She might have seen that instance to leave the abusive relationship she was in. This theory could be supported by the scars we can see in her arms in several shots. Yet clearly, I hate this alternative theory, as it means that they would have to change Perrin's character in a huge way that honestly I would not like at all. I hope that I am completely wrong on this theory. So, what do you think? Is Laila a Darkfriend, or as a fanbase are simply reading into everything too deeply? That's probably it. But I for one have no idea. But regardless, I am very excited that we are able to be theorizing all the time and have such an amazing time as the show moves on. This is why I actually prefer weekly releases, as it gives us time to have fun like this and speculate as a fan base. Do you have any theories of your own? Be sure to leave them down in the comments, as I would love to read them and interact with you. So, now that we're done with the theories, I wanted to thank you all for being so kind and amazing and wonderful and giving this channel so much love in the past couple of weeks. Since we reached 100 subs so quickly, which is honestly completely crazy, I wanted to celebrate by giving you guys something, and the best thing I could think of was giving you guys a free book tie-in edition of The Eye of the World. What you have to do in order to participate is very simple actually, so you have to leave a like and a comment on this and the upcoming videos, and be sure to be subscribed to this channel and following me on Twitter. At the end of this giveaway, which will be 2 weeks long, so 2 weeks from the day this video is posted, I will be randomly selecting one of you, and I will contact you directly so that you can receive your prize. So I wanted to thank every single one of you for sticking it to the end of the video. You are amazing, you are the best, and I wanted to thank you again for being such an awesome fan base who has welcomed me so quickly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to thank you for watching this video. I hope we see you in the next one, and as always, much love.